Hey guys, it's Oliver. I'm just here to have a quick chat about my art story and how I sort of progressed. Today I'm using a Bic round stick and a sketch diary sketchbook. These can be found at like Mike Meyer or Walmart or just any big store, I guess. You could even find similar projects at or supplies at Dollar General. And I'm a big proponent of your tools don't define your craft, you do. Your skill does. And what I'm sketching today is just a few quick pictures of my character Atticus that I made just to kind of flesh them out. When I'm making new characters, it helps to draw them and kind of let their personality out instead of just sitting in it. A lot of people ask me when I started drawing, and the truth is I've never really stopped. Like, I've been drawing since I could hold a crayon, but in truth it really kicked off at around 3rd grade, which is an interesting story in and of itself. I was diagnosed with ADHD around this time, and at my school I would fidget in my desk with toys or bracelets or just, stuff. And my teacher would take these things out of my desk, but without them I couldn't concentrate on the work I had to do. And when it came down to it, the only things they couldn't take away were my pencils and my paper. And I was really into Kim Possible at this time, and I would play as Kim Possible on the playground and at home and, fun stuff like that. And drawing was just another version of playing for me. I would create scenarios and situations and do things that I couldn't do in real life in my drawings. And I got really, really into it. And it was around middle school when I kind of stopped being like play. I mean, it's still very much play for me, but I kind of started looking online and realizing that other people were making these incredible things and getting notoriety and money for them. And I was like, oh, okay, this is what I want to do. I mean, I was 12 years old and I was kind of finding out who I was. So that was something that I really looked forward to. And a lot of these people online, they were doing digital art. And I was like, that is naturally the best progression. It is the most marketable progression. I want to do digital art. And this is, again, 12-year-old me using paint.net and just doing what I can with those little selection tools and minimalized abilities. And the day I turned 13, my 13th birthday, I went on DeviantArt and I signed up. And like I said, I started out with plain old Microsoft Paint, and then I moved into the free download of paint.net, which kind of had a bigger capability, but not too much greater. Like, there wasn't any pressure sensitivity or anything like that. But it had layer modes, it had filters, it had, a bunch of other cool stuff. And it kind of got me into the basics of what selections were, what the multiply layer meant, what filters were, and how to use layers. So it was an important building block. And then I moved on to GIMP, which was another free program, and that was terrible as far as functionality, but it did have a lot of the tools that I would need to learn and kind of grow into moving forward. So it kind of taught me a little bit of that. And as I went through high school, I just kind of kept growing in my art. I kept exploring. I kept finding cool stuff. I kept adapting cool stuff into my art, and I kept drawing during class, which was fun and awesome, and it helped me concentrate. And a lot of my teachers were really understanding, this is something that Oliver does to concentrate, and he's doing, well enough in his, studies. So I got my first real pressure-sensitive tablet about halfway through high school, and it was super duper important to me that I have a program that I could use it with. At first I tried GIMP, but there was something with my tablet that it just wouldn't work. And then I got Fire Alpaca, and that is a free program that I will tout till the day that I die. It's basically a kind of played down version of SAI, and they're getting better and better every update. There's an advertisement every time you open it up, but it doesn't bother you besides that. If you leave it open, there won't be any more ads. And I will tout this program until I die. Like I said, it's a very good program. And it taught me blending, it taught me more layer modes, it taught me about clipping masks. That was the first time I learned about clipping masks. And it was a super great time for me. And during my senior year, I found it kind of set me on the path, because a lot of people, you know, they look at artists and they're like, you know, you're never going to make a living with that, like when you're really little. And I kind of had taken it to heart. So at this time, I was kind of like searching other venues. I was searching for a different career, and I stumbled across a webcomic that I really love, that ultimately changed my mind. And it was like, no, this is a worthwhile thing. This is something that I need to work for if I love it enough. This is something that's important to me. And that webcomic is The Property of Hate, as many of my followers are probably tired of hearing. I will tout that comic. That is another thing I will tout till the day I die. Go check it out. It's a great comic. But the idea of like the play and such unique ideas coming to the forefront, and it's like, I just wanted to do that. And it kind of set in stone, and that became my major going into university. And it's what made me want to be an illustrator. So yeah, that was fun. And it was around this time that I graduated to Photoshop. And it's what I still use. It's my favorite. I wouldn't trade it for almost anything except maybe Fire Alpaca. So like when Photoshop is kicking up a hissy fit, I'll just boot up the old Fire Alpaca. But Photoshop is just the ultimate. It's something that I love to use. I mean, it is pretty expensive. It's about $400 a year for the whole cloud, which is what I get. But it's super duper worth it. Like, I mainly use Adobe Photoshop and Premiere for my work stuff, but I have access to their entire library, and I've used InDesign to create these amazing resumes, and I've used Illustrator to create logos and stuff like that. I dabbled with Flash, or as it's now called, Adobe Animate, the program formerly known as Flash. But it's an incredible library, and I enjoy using it so much. And I took some art classes in college. I got into this really cool community and explored these really neat ideas and what it is to create art, and it really helped me hone my skills. But I do hold that I am almost entirely self-taught. I taught myself anatomy. I taught myself digital art before anybody else did. I learned how to use like charcoal more effectively and paint more effectively in college, but I was already killing this stuff before I came in, and it didn't take me long to kill the stuff that I learned. So good. Because I went into my classes like already knowing this stuff, and because I watched artists that I admired as I was growing up and going through these changes and honing my skills, and I sort of copied and stole things from them to use in my own work. And so I'm here today. I'm no longer in school because of reasons. Maybe one day I'll talk about that. But this is the story of my progression, mainly through digital art, which is kind of awkward because this is a traditional sketch. But if there's anything you'd like me to go into more detail with, I would certainly be happy to. Leave any questions in the comments, leave a like or a subscribe. It would really help me out. I know everybody says that, but it does. And thanks for watching. Goodbye.